So Bond news, Matt. I guess the big Bond news is that everyone had a little sit down in GoldenEye, and talked briefly about what can be expected for Bond 25. I guess the big news from this, though, Matt, was what Daniel was wearing in the interview. So what was he wearing, Matt? Maybe you can tell us.
So he had a suit from the English tailor and ready-to-wear retailer Thom Sweeney. So this is actually, I think, the best suit we've seen on Daniel Craig in a very long time. It had some of the current trends, some signs of current trends, such as like mid-rise trousers and a slightly short jacket length with like a higher button stance. But overall, this is a really classic English look. Like, I love the shoulders on it. I think Tom Sweeney does fantastic shoulders. They have that older look that we used to see on Bond, like from the Anthony Sinclair or Doug Hayward suits. It has that soft look, but it still has like roped sleeve heads.
Mm. Yeah,
It looks elegant.
it didn't look like it was fighting him at all, did it? Like I
Yeah.
guess some of the suits in the films have. It looked like he really had a very relaxed demeanor, and that suit afforded him that look, didn't it?
Yeah, and I think it helped. He's well, so 'cause I think as someone who's over 50 years old trying to wear suits that are too tight, I think it just has that look of trying too hard. Whereas now his suit is it's a close fit, but it's not too tight.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's looking a bit more his age apart from the trainers.
Yeah.
What
So,
what do you think of the trainers with the suit?
well, I've got mixed feelings about trainers with suits on red carpets. So whenever I see film premieres and I see someone that just looks fantastic in suits, yet they just thought, oh fuck it, I can't be arsed with the shoes. They just wear their trainers on red carpets. That really, it doesn't. It just kind of, I feel it's let down. Like the whole effort that you've gone to has just been blown away. And it's redundant when you just wear your sneakers on a red carpet, but you've got a really nice tuxedo going on. I think a couple of people get away with it. Lewis Hamilton's okay with it. Robert Downey Jr. does it every now and again, but I think that adds to their flamboyance in a way, their kind of weird quirkiness. But when you're just sitting down with a suit and it's just an interview, I mean, it's quite an informal process anyway, just an interview. I think that actually lends to it. I'm not against that at all. I don't think it should be something that you'll see in the film. I fucking hope not. But if you're just sitting down there and you're just mixing it up, you got a white open collar. It's a nice blue suit. It's a nice hot day. I think the trainers and plus the inverted trainers as well.
Yeah, so those are the Converse Fear of God Chuck 70
There you go.
high.
Yeah. So
Because they have that Converse look,
yeah,
that very classic Converse look.
it's got the Converse little star logo as well, hasn't it? I noticed on one of the sides. So very recognizable in terms of branding, and I just thought it looked really, really, really cool on him. I guess he wants to wear something that he's going to feel quite relaxed in as well for these sort of things, because he's going to be, dressed in Lokes or Churches or Crockett and Jones for the next year and a half, I think, doing red carpets and Bond films. So what do you think anyway?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you can. I think most people would know that I wouldn't be a fan of trainers with a suit. I feel like, I think if he really wanted to look more relaxed, maybe driving moccasins. Even though I would still not ever want to pair those with a suit, but at least something like that wouldn't look quite as out of place, and they would still look, casual.
A bit like how Cary Fukunaga was wearing them, right? So did you see
Oh
what he
yeah.
was wearing?
Now, I think his suit is perfect. He's wearing a beautiful suit. It looks like it's looks like a bespoke English suit. It has one button which I love, but the proportions of the suit I think are just bang on. What I love is how with the cut is how it has a low button stance and high rise trousers. So when he's wearing the suit unbuttoned, but you can see how the top of the trousers and the button of his suit are in the same place.
Mm.
They meet up there. So when he buttons the suit, you don't see any shirt, any bit of the white shirt that's underneath the button and above the trousers like you do on Daniel Craig's suit, which I think just looks so much more elegant.
Yeah, he looks mustard.
He really does. I mean, he's looking like James Bond himself over there.
And what about Michael Wilson's suit? What do you think to that? What do you think, Mickey G?
Oh, his suit. Yeah, he
looked like he found that in the same thrift shop where you got yours, right?
Right. I could definitely see. I mean, he's the demographic they have in Florida now.
Yeah.
So he's. Yeah, the suit is definitely looking. It looks a bit outdated.
Yeah.
It does not have a modern look. Like, because Daniel Craig's suit has a very modern look. Fukunaga's suit has actually has a modern Savile Row look. It's not a trendy look, but it's definitely the look that a lot of tailors in Savile Row are doing with the one button. But yeah, Michael G. Wilson and his that gray 3-button suit. It's not a terrible suit. It's not a great fit. I don't think he
do
cares.
many compliments, but yeah, he don't give two shits about that. Nor should he.
Nope.
Matt, what else was I going to say? So Tom Sweeney has really now come to the forefront, really, hasn't he? I mean, I think people in the know would have heard about him anyway, but he's got 2 stores here in Mayfair in London, 1 in Manhattan, I think. I did actually drop them a line, and I did hear from Tom, because it's 2 dudes, isn't it? It's Tom and Luke, and they forged Tom Sweeney. And I asked him if he'd like to jump on the podcast, and he said he'd love to, but I don't think he's quite got the time. Tom with it though. But let me just read out the email because but he did say, I asked him about what it was like working with Daniel, and he said, all I can say is that when he was in the New York store, he was very gracious and open and genuinely an absolute pleasure to be with, understated and classy as a British gent can be. So, I mean, that doesn't give too much away. It doesn't sound like he was invited to go in. So, by all accounts, he's just wandered in there and picked the suit up and maybe had it tucked in here or there. But that is ready to wear and ready to go, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the way that Daniel Craig's been. I mean, he's been doing that a lot for the past few years. He used to be into bespoke. When he was first Bond, he had bespoke suits from Dunhill. He had them from some other from English tailors. I can't actually remember who now, but he did used to wear bespoke suits, maybe from Richard James. I'm not sure on that, but he. Now he likes to just walk in, pick up what he wants and leave. I'm sure when he went to Tom Sweeney, he just popped in there.
Yeah, I mean, he's done he's shopped in Spencer Hart before, because I know that I've spoken to Nick Hart and he's dressed him for a few collections. So, but that's anyway. So that's that. But it's good that these like Tom Sweeney now is kind of on the mouths of every influencer and blogger. they're all paying attention to some Tom Sweeney collections. Great free press for them.